Have you ever had a simple thought in your head, but when you try to say it in English, everything suddenly becomes difficult? You know the words. You understand the grammar. You can even understand English videos. But when someone asks you a question, your brain goes through a strange process. First, you think in your native language. Then you translate that thought into English. Then you check the grammar. Then you search for the right word. And finally, you speak. By that time, the conversation has already moved on. If this happens to you, don't worry. It doesn't mean you are bad at English. It means your brain has developed a habit. And habits can be changed. The real goal of becoming fluent isn't to memorize thousands of words or study grammar for hours every day. The real goal is to make English more automatic. You want to see something and think of the English word. You want to express an idea and English comes naturally. You want to answer a question without first creating the sentence in your native language. In other words, you want to train your brain to use English directly. And that's exactly what we're going to do in this video. I'll show you practical techniques you can use every day to gradually reduce translation, strengthen English recall, and make English thinking feel more natural. And the best part, you don't need an English-speaking friend. You don't need to live in America or Britain. And you don't need to spend 5 hours studying grammar. You can start training your brain today, wherever you are. So let's begin. Part 1. Understand why you translate. Before we learn how to stop translating, we need to understand why your brain does it. Imagine that you have just started learning English. You learn the word hungry. Your brain connects the English word to meaning. But if you learned it as a translation, you may have created a chain like this. English word, native language word, meaning. Later, when you want to speak English, your brain may follow the same path backward. Meaning, native language, English. That's why speaking can feel slow. You aren't simply communicating. You're translating. And translation takes extra mental effort. But here's the important part. You don't have to force yourself to suddenly stop thinking in your native language. That usually doesn't work. Instead, you need to build stronger direct connections between English and meaning. For example, don't only learn the word apple as a translation. Look at an apple. Imagine its shape. Imagine its color. Imagine biting it. Think, apple, not to. Apple means. The goal is to connect the English word directly to the object, action, feeling, or idea. This is one reason simple English is so powerful. When you learn a phrase like, I'm tired, don't translate it word by word. Connect the entire expression with the feeling of being tired. When you learn, I don't know, don't think about its grammar. Connect the whole phrase with the situation where you don't know something. You're building automatic pathways. And that's what fluency requires. Part 2. Stop learning words alone. One of the biggest mistakes English learners make is memorizing individual words. They learn decision, improve, experience, probably, opportunity. But knowing individual words doesn't automatically mean you can use them while speaking. Instead, learn words inside small phrases. Don't only learn decision. Learn, make a decision. Don't only learn interested. Learn, I'm interested in. Don't only learn used. Learn, I'm used to it. This gives your brain ready-made language patterns. When you speak, you don't have to construct every sentence from zero. You can retrieve familiar chunks. Think about your native language. You probably don't consciously build every sentence word by word. You already know thousands of patterns. English needs to become like that too. So whenever you learn a new word, ask yourself, how would I actually use this in a sentence? For example, instead of memorizing the word avoid, create 3 simple thoughts. I avoid junk food. I try to avoid wasting time. I avoid speaking English because I'm afraid of making mistakes. Now the word has a context. Your brain isn't just storing vocabulary. It's learning how to use vocabulary. Part 3, the 5-second English rule. Now let's start training. Here's a simple exercise you can do throughout your day. I call it the 5-second English rule. Whenever you see something, try to describe it in English within 5 seconds. Don't wait. Don't search for the perfect sentence. Just say something. You see your phone. Think, my phone is on the table. You see rain outside. Wow, it's raining today. You're making tea. I'm making some tea. You're going to work. I need to leave now. You feel tired. I'm feeling a little tired. That's it. Simple, but extremely useful. Because you're training your brain to move directly from experience to English. And notice something important. You don't need advanced English. In fact, simple English is better at the beginning. If you see a chair, don't try to say, this particular piece of furniture appears to be positioned. No. Just say, there's a chair. Fluency begins with simple thoughts becoming automatic. Then complexity comes later. Part 4. Think in English during daily activities. Here's one of the easiest ways to train your brain. Use English during activities you already do every day. You don't need extra study time. Your normal life becomes your classroom. When you wake up, think, I'm awake. I need to get up. What time is it? I slept well. Or maybe, I didn't sleep enough. When you're getting ready, where's my shirt? I need to take a shower. Where did I put my keys? I'll have breakfast first. When you're eating, this tastes good. It's too hot. I need some water. When you're working, I need to finish this. That's difficult. I'll do this first. I need a break. And when you're traveling, I'm waiting for the bus. It's crowded today. I think I'm going the wrong way. You're turning ordinary life into English practice. And this is powerful because the words are connected to real experiences. You're not sitting in front of a textbook trying to imagine a situation. You're living the situation. And your brain is learning to describe it in English. Part 5. Use the English voice technique. Now I want you to try something slightly different. Imagine that you're your own English-speaking friend. Throughout the day, have a small conversation inside your head. For example, what should I eat today? Maybe I'll have rice and chicken. Are you hungry? Yes, I'm really hungry. What do you want to do tonight? I think I'll watch a movie. This might feel strange at first. That's normal. You're basically creating an imaginary English environment. And the more you do it, the more comfortable your brain becomes with producing English without external pressure. You can also ask yourself questions. What am I doing? Why am I doing it? What happened today? What will I do tomorrow? What do I want? What don't I like? What would I do if I had more money? What would I do if I could travel anywhere? These questions force your brain to retrieve English. And retrieval is important. Research on learning consistently shows that actively retrieving information from memory can strengthen later recall more effectively than simply studying the information again. Foreign language research has also found benefits from retrieval practice for vocabulary learning. So don't just read English. Try to produce it from memory. Part 6. The Describe Your World Challenge. Here's another exercise. Look around you. Choose 5 things and describe each one in English. For example, this is my phone. It's black. It's on the table. It's almost fully charged. I use it every day. Then move to the next object. This is a window. It's open. There's sunlight outside. I can see some trees. Don't worry about making mistakes. The goal is not perfection. The goal is speed. You are teaching your brain. When I see something, I can express it in English. You can make this more challenging over time. At first, the room is quiet. Later, the room is quiet because everyone has gone outside. Later, the room feels unusually quiet today, probably because everyone left early. See what happened? You started with a basic thought. Then you added details. Then you added explanation. That's how you build complexity naturally. Part 7. Stop waiting for perfect English. Now we need to talk about one of the biggest obstacles to thinking in English. Perfectionism. You think, what if my grammar is wrong? What if my pronunciation is bad? What if someone laughs? What if I use the wrong word? And because you're worried about making mistakes, you don't speak. Then because you don't speak, your brain doesn't get enough practice producing English. This creates a cycle. Fear leads to silence. Silence leads to less practice. Less practice leads to slower speaking. Slower speaking creates more fear. You need to break that cycle. Make mistakes on purpose. Say simple sentences. Say imperfect sentences. Correct yourself later. If you say, yesterday I go to the market, don't panic. Simply correct it. Yesterday I went to the market. Then continue. The mistake is not the enemy. Avoiding practice is the enemy. Research on second language output has explored how producing language can help learners notice gaps in their knowledge and become more aware of linguistic problems. So speaking isn't just a test of what you already know. Speaking is part of how you learn. Part 8. The 10-minute Think in English workout. Now let's create a simple daily workout. You only need 10 minutes. Minute 1. Describe what you see. For example, I'm sitting in my room. There's a table in front of me. My phone is next to me. Minute 2. Describe what you did today. I woke up at 7. I had breakfast. I went to work. I talked to my friend. Minute 3. Talk about what you're doing right now. I'm making coffee. I'm watching this video. I'm feeling a little tired. Minute 4. Talk about tomorrow. Tomorrow I need to. I want to. I hope I can. Minute 5. Talk about your opinion. I think learning English is difficult because. I believe consistency is more important than motivation because. Minute 6. Tell a short story. Something that happened yesterday. Minute 7. Explain something. Explain how you make tea. Explain how you use your phone. Explain how you get to work. Minute 8. Ask yourself questions and answer them. Minute 9. Choose 5 new words and create sentences. Minute 10. Speak freely. No script. No translation. No stopping. Just communicate. Do this every day. 10 minutes doesn't sound like much, but consistency matters. You're not trying to transform your brain in one afternoon. You're building a habit through repeated use. Part 9. Use English before you need it. Here's a powerful idea. Don't wait until you are in a conversation to practice speaking. Prepare your brain before the conversation happens. Imagine common situations. Imagine you're ordering food. What would you like? I'd like a chicken sandwich, please. Would you like anything to drink? Yes, I'll have a bottle of water. Imagine you're at a job interview. Tell me about yourself. Sure, my name is. What are your strengths? I think one of my strengths is consistency. Why do you want this job? I want this opportunity because. Imagine you're meeting someone new. Where are you from? What do you do? What do you do in your free time? These mental simulations prepare your brain. Then, when the real situation happens, the language isn't completely new. You've already practiced the situation. Part 10. Shadowing, but do it the right way. You've probably heard about shadowing. You listen to an English speaker and repeat what they say. It's useful for pronunciation, rhythm, and speaking practice. But don't turn shadowing into mindless repetition. After hearing a sentence, sometimes pause and try to produce it from memory. For example, here, I've been working on my English for 6 months. Then try to say it yourself. Don't immediately replay the audio. Try to retrieve it. Research comparing imitation with retrieval practice in foreign language vocabulary found that producing the word from memory before hearing it again led to stronger learning than simply repeating what was heard. So use both. Listen. Repeat. Then hide the sentence. Try to remember it. Say it yourself. Then check. This turns passive listening into active training. Part 11. Create an English-only zone. Now here's a challenge. Choose a small part of your day where you use only English. Maybe 10 minutes in the morning. Maybe while walking. Maybe while cooking. Maybe before going to sleep. During that time, no translating. If you don't know a word, explain it using words you already know. Suppose you don't know the word umbrella. Don't immediately switch to your native language. Say, the thing I use when it's raining. That's communication. Suppose you forget the word scissors. Say, the tool I use to cut paper. This skill is incredibly important because fluent speakers don't always know every word either. They know how to keep communicating when a word is missing. That's a major part of real fluency. Part 12. Train your brain with questions. Questions are one of the best tools for thinking in English. Why? Because questions force you to generate language. Try this every day. What did I do today? What was the best part of my day? What was difficult? What am I worried about? What do I want to improve? What will I do tomorrow? What would I do if I had $1 million? Where would I travel? What kind of person do I want to become? Don't answer with one word. Give yourself a reason. For example, what do I want to improve? I want to improve my English because I want to communicate confidently with people from different countries. I don't want to feel nervous every time I have to speak. Now you're thinking. You're not memorizing. You're generating. And generation is exactly the skill we want to develop. Part 13. Use the think, speak, check method. Here's a simple 3-step system. Think. Speak. Check. First, think about an idea. Second, say it in English without looking anything up. Third, check what you said. For example, you want to say, I've been trying to improve my English for the last few months. Try to say it from memory. Then check whether your grammar was correct. Maybe you said, I am trying to improve my English from last few months. That's okay. Now you know what needs improvement. Corrected. I've been trying to improve my English for the last few months. Say it again. Then create another sentence. I've been trying to exercise regularly for the last few months. Now you've learned a pattern. This is much more powerful than simply reading the correct sentence 10 times, because you first struggled to retrieve it. That struggle is part of the learning process. Part 14. Think small, then think big. If you're still translating a lot, don't force yourself to think in complicated English. Start with tiny thoughts. I'm hungry. I'm tired. It's hot. It's cold. I need water. I forgot my keys. I'll call him later. Then connect them. I'm tired, so I'll take a short break. I'm hungry, but I'll finish this first. It's raining, so I need an umbrella. Now you're building relationships between ideas. Then add explanations. I'm tired because I didn't sleep well last night. Then opinions. I think I didn't sleep well because I was using my phone too late. Then reflection. I probably need to change my nighttime routine. Look at the progression. Word. Sentence. Connected sentence. Explanation. Opinion. Reflection. That's how English thinking can grow. Part 15. Try to eliminate your native language. And here's something important. You don't need to completely eliminate your native language. Your native language is not your enemy. Translation can be useful when you're learning difficult concepts. The problem is depending on translation for every single sentence. You want English to become an additional direct pathway. Eventually, you might experience something interesting. You'll see something, and the English word appears automatically. You'll hear an English question, and an English answer starts forming immediately. You'll read a sentence and understand the meaning without translating every word. That is progress, and it usually happens gradually. Don't expect to wake up tomorrow and suddenly think entirely in English. Instead, notice small wins. Maybe you thought one sentence directly in English today. Tomorrow, maybe 5. Next week, maybe 20. That's how automaticity develops. Part 16. Your 30-day Think in English challenge. Now let's turn everything into a 30-day challenge. For the first 7 days, focus on objects and daily activities. Describe what you see. Describe what you're doing. Keep your sentences simple. Days 8 to 14. Start your internal English conversations. Ask yourself questions. Answer them. Talk about your day. Days 15 to 21. Add storytelling. Talk about something that happened yesterday. Explain what happened. Explain how you felt. Explain what you learned. Days 22 to 30. Increase the difficulty. Talk about opinions. Discuss problems. Explain ideas. Imagine future situations. Give yourself 5 minutes of completely spontaneous English every day. And remember one rule. Do not stop because you don't know a word. Find another way to express the idea. That's one of the most important skills you can develop. Part 17. The biggest secret: consistency. Now here's the truth. You can watch 100 English learning videos. You can download 20 apps. You can buy expensive courses. You can memorize thousands of words. But if you rarely produce English, your brain will continue to prefer the language it uses every day. Your brain follows repetition. If you repeatedly think in your native language and only occasionally produce English, your native language will remain faster. But if you give your brain regular opportunities to retrieve and produce English, English becomes more accessible. Research on retrieval practice supports the idea that actively recalling information strengthens later retention, and recent language learning studies continue to find benefits from retrieval-based practice. So don't ask, how can I learn English faster? Ask, how often am I actually using English? That question changes everything. Your brain can chain. Let me leave you with one final idea. Maybe right now, English feels like something outside of you. You study English. You watch English videos. You read English books. You practice English. But eventually, you want something different. You want English to become part of your daily thinking. You want to wake up and think, what should I do today? You want to look outside and think, the weather looks beautiful. You want to make a decision and think, I'll do it tomorrow. You want to meet someone and respond naturally. You want to make mistakes without becoming afraid. You want English to feel less like a school subject and more like a tool. And you can build that, not by forcing your brain to stop using your native language, not by memorizing grammar rules all day, not by waiting until your English is perfect, but by giving your brain small, repeated opportunities to use English directly. Describe your world. Talk to yourself. Ask questions. Tell stories. Retrieve words from memory. Practice before real conversations. Use simple English. And most importantly, keep going. Because every time you create an English sentence without translating it, you're training your brain. Every time you struggle to remember a word and finally retrieve it, you're training your brain. Every time you make a mistake and continue speaking, you're training your brain. And every ordinary moment can become another repetition. So today, don't wait for tomorrow. Look around you. Choose one thing and think about it in English. Maybe it's your phone. Maybe it's a chair. Maybe it's the weather. Maybe it's the cup in your hand. Say, this is my cup. It's on the table. I'm drinking tea. It's hot. I like it. 5 simple sentences. That's enough to start. Tomorrow, do it again. Then again. And again. One day, you'll notice something. You won't be translating as much. The words will come faster. Your sentences will become longer. Your confidence will become stronger. And English won't feel like something you are constantly trying to remember. It will start to feel like something you can simply use. That is the real goal. Not perfect English. Automatic English. Not knowing every word. Knowing how to communicate. Not thinking about English all the time. But eventually being able to think in English when you need it. So start small. Start today. And give your brain a reason to choose English. Because the language you repeatedly use is the language your brain learns to access more easily. And if you keep practicing, one day you won't have to tell yourself, think in English. You'll simply think, and English will be there.